you are spending way too much energy on people and things that don't deserve your attention. And I want to talk about the 5 things that are not your problem anymore in your 20s if you want to be unstoppable. Hi, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Do You Like You podcast. My name is Divya, I'm 25 years old, and I'm your host. If it's your first time tuning in to listen, thank you for being here. I'm just gonna get straight into today's episode because I have a lot to say. Because if you know me, you know that I used to want to fit in because I felt like everyone wanted me to be this one specific person, even though that's not who I was. So I tried so hard to fit into what others wanted me to be. I cared way too much about other people's opinions about me, and I always tend to take things personally. Like last time, if someone criticized me, if someone judged me, like I would get affected by it. And if someone got mad at me because I set a boundary with them and they stopped hanging out with me, like I thought that I was the problem, when in reality, how someone reacts because of the boundaries you set and because they were disrespecting you and you chose to like distance yourself from them, like all those things are not your problem. Like it's really not. Sometimes it may seem like when people downplay your emotions, it might feel like you're the problem and you're too sensitive. But the people who make you feel sensitive are usually those who are never called out for being insensitive. So because their behavior was enabled, I feel like they just think that it's okay to treat people like that. So they project those insecurities onto you, so you start to feel small. And I just want to get into the 5 things that are just not your problem anymore, especially if you're in your 20s. So the first thing is how someone remembers you. And I know a lot of you struggle with your past mistakes. Like you feel very ashamed for who you used to be, and you spend nights just beating yourself up. And you know what? You like spend days even like growing and taking accountability. But every single day it just feels like there's this voice at the back of your head saying like, yeah, you might have changed, but this was who you were last time. And people think you're a bad person, and it's like there's nothing that you can do that's going to change that. And it doesn't help when sometimes you bump into people in your past and they try to make you feel bad for who you used to be. But I want you guys to remember that every single person in this world has a past. Everyone has done something that they're not proud of. And the people who make you feel bad for who you used to be are usually the ones still stuck in the past and they haven't grown. Because someone who has truly grown won't be looking back, they'll be looking ahead, and they'll be worried about themselves, not worried about embarrassing those that they used to know. And obviously people tend to have this perception of you when you hurt them, and you can't really blame those who have that negative perception of you if you hurt them. Like, be so honest right now. Do you really think your ex has changed? Do you think your past friends have changed? Like sometimes no, because they hurt you so bad. So it's so difficult to accept that they're a new person. And no one blames you for that because this person really emotionally damaged you. So the fact that they have now changed and grown, it's hard to accept. You don't have to explain yourself to people who have a bad image of you because they're not in your life anymore. And if they want to believe that you're a bad person and you're still the same person that you were last time, let them. You don't have to prove your worth to them. You can never control the version of you that exists in someone's mind, but you can control how you choose to react to it. If someone wants to believe that you're this bad, horrible person, you need to decide if you're gonna let it affect you. Are you really gonna let their negative perception of you stop you from believing that you're a good person? Because at the end of the day, each of us, we know ourselves best. No one else knows us. No one else knows how long it took for us to be who we are today. And if you're gonna let other people control how you see yourself, they are gonna continue to control your life. The second thing that's no longer your problem is being ghosted or left on red. And this is something that I know a lot of you can relate to. If you been through the dating phase, you've been in situationships, you've been in obviously friendships or relationships, there were definitely times where someone would double tick you or blue tick you and you would start to overthink like, did I do something wrong? Like, why is this person not talking to me? Why are they just like no longer my friend, no longer my partner? Like, it's so confusing and it makes you overthink. And it's normal, like when someone just leaves you hanging like that with no explanation and doesn't talk to you for days, it's normal for you to overthink and feel bad about yourself because it's like, why? Like, am I just not worthy enough? Like, Did I do something wrong? All these questions start piling up. But if someone chooses to just walk away instead of have a conversation with you to explain why they no longer want to be in your life, that's their problem to bear. If you didn't do anything wrong, you don't have to worry and overthink like, did I do something wrong? No, you didn't. It's different if you constantly disrespected someone and they chose to silently cut you off even though they tried talking to you. Like, that's different. Because it's like, if someone has already explained to you like, hey, I don't like what you did, and you keep doing it, you can't blame them if they just cut you off. They've already given you a chance. But if it's like one minor mistake that you make, or like there's a misunderstanding, and this friend or this partner or whoever it is chooses to just walk away without trying to have a conversation with you to try and solve the situation, then that's on them. It just means that they never really valued this friendship. They were just kind of waiting for that one mistake to happen so they can finally leave. And that's not fair to you, but that just gives you an opportunity to put your energy into those who truly do value you and who will talk to you when you do something to affect them. We always want people to give us closure, but this is something I know you don't want to hear. You don't need closure from people who don't want to give it to you, because people suck at accountability. Like, there's a lot of people out there who want others to take accountability for their actions, but don't want to take accountability for their actions. And it's like you cannot demand someone to apologize to you, because if someone doesn't want to apologize, they're not going to apologize. If someone doesn't want to recognize that they have hurt you, they're not going to see that they hurt you. If they are so committed to misunderstanding you and misunderstanding how you feel, you don't have to explain yourself to them. They're not your people. You are entitled to how you feel. If what they did has hurt you, you are entitled to feel that way, and no one can make you question that. If your situationship or someone you're dating chooses to just ghost you without even trying to like talk things out, they're just not your person. And I know ghosting is so normalized in the dating world. Like, I mean, I used to date, and I'm not gonna lie, I have ghosted two people before. But to my defense, before you guys pounce on me, I did try to kind of like give hints. Like, I was replying late, and I was like not really, I was showing signs like I really am not interested to continue to talk. Does that justify me ghosting them? No. But I was really young, and I know that's not an excuse, but I felt bad to kind of say it to their face like, I'm not interested anymore because of this specific ick you gave me. But now, if I was still in my dating era, I would have handled things differently. I would have been straight up with that person. It's not an excuse to ghost someone, and it's not nice to ghost someone. You can just have a proper conversation with them. But yeah, ultimately, I feel like if someone ghosts you and they don't even explain to you like what exactly you did that made them not interested, like, it's got nothing to do with you. It doesn't mean that you're not worthy. Like, if anything, it means like they're not worthy enough to be in your life, because they clearly don't meet your standards. Because you have a standard that you have set, that you want people who communicate with you and have open conversations with you, and this person is not capable of that. So would you rather just let them go now when you're not really emotionally invested? Or even if you are emotionally invested, at least they left earlier and not later, where things could have been worse. Like, if someone chooses to just leave you without any explanation, take that disrespect as a sign that they weren't meant to be in your life. The third thing that's no longer your problem anymore in your 20s is being low maintenance, so that people don't view you as too much. And as someone who was always made to feel like I was too much of a person, there was a period of time where I shrunk myself because I felt like I was too high maintenance. Because when I was younger, before I entered my 20s, I'm the type of friend that likes to talk to you every single day, on even if it's not every single day, like every other day, because that's how I connect with my friends. And I always value quality time. Like, even now, I value quality time with my friends, my family, my partner. And without quality time, I believe that the relationships I have with people doesn't work. So because of that, I started to shrink myself. Like, just because people would hang out with their boyfriends like maybe once every 2 weeks, like, I started to develop that habit. Like, yeah, you know what, like, I also can hang out with my boyfriend like once every 2 weeks, when in reality that's not me. Like, I can't do that. Like, I need to see my boyfriend at least like 3 times a week, and I'm not ashamed to say that, because this is who I am. And the only person who should find an issue with that is my boyfriend, which he doesn't have an issue with that because we align with each other. Whereas last time when I was with my ex, if I were to say things like that, he would say that I'm too much, like I'm expecting too much. Like, what do you mean I'm expecting too much? Like, I want to see you and you think that's bad? Like, huh? So that's what I mean. Like, some people will find you too much, but those are clearly not your people. Because the right people will never find you too much. They will never find you as a burden. I don't have to beg my boyfriend to meet me now. It's like if I say, like, can you meet? He will do whatever he can to meet me, and vice versa. It's like, if he tells me like, hey, do you want to meet today and stuff, like I will try my absolute hardest to meet him because he does the same thing for me. Don't ever think that you need to be low maintenance just so you can have people in your life. Being low maintenance is not a personality trait. It's not something that makes you cooler. Like if having low maintenance friendships and relationship works for you and what makes you and it's what makes you happy, then so be it. But don't make other people feel shitty just because they are high maintenance. Like I remember so many people last time would make those who are high maintenance, like they make those people feel like horrible individuals when it's like people can have standards. People can have expectations. And if you think those expectations are too high, then you don't fit into their life. You're allowed to expect effort. You're allowed to expect consistency. You're allowed to expect quality time. Like these are things that are non-negotiables in your life, and you don't have to debate this with the right people. Like the wrong people will find you too much and think that you're expecting so much, like you're so high maintenance. Why can't you just be more low maintenance? Like these are not your people. These are people who want you to shrink yourself to fit into their life when it's supposed to be them fitting into your life. The fourth thing that's not your problem anymore in your 20s is convincing people to like you. I grew up a people pleaser. I always wanted everyone to like me. And when someone didn't like me, I took offense to that and I thought that I was the problem. Like, do I need to change myself for this person to accept me? When it's like, you don't have to change yourself for someone to accept you. If this person doesn't like you, then they don't like you. It's as simple as that. Does it mean that your value decreases? No. This person is just not meant to be in your life. The more you start to accept that not everyone is going to like you, the more peaceful your life gets. Like, you weren't put onto this earth to please other people. It's not your job to convince anyone to like you. I don't care if it's your friends, your boyfriend's mom, your girlfriend, your family. I don't care who it is. You don't have to prove your worth to these people. You don't have to convince them and do so many things just to show them that you are a good person. Because I can guarantee you, the more you try and the more you show that you're desperate for their love and their care, the more they want to not like you. Because it's like, damn, this person is really working hard to try and prove herself or prove himself to me. Like, the more I'm not gonna like them, so they work harder. It's like, why are you trying so hard to prove your worth to someone who doesn't matter? The same energy you're putting into proving your worth to them, why can't you put that energy into yourself? If you know you're a good person, why do you have to prove yourself to people who don't see? It's like you go to an event and the most popular person doesn't like you and you immediately think that you're the problem. But who's to say this popular person is the most purest individual out there? Like, clearly and obviously they do have people who don't like them. Like, everybody in this world has someone who doesn't like them. And just because someone who is so popular doesn't like you, it doesn't determine your worth. You're just not meant for each other, and that's fine. Stop basing your worth on someone else's inability to see it. And the last thing that's no longer your problem in your 20s is explaining yourself to people who always want to be right. And I used to be a pro at explaining myself. Okay, I hated when people didn't see where I was coming from. It's like so clear that they're wrong. You could explain in the simplest way possible to someone about how they hurt you, and they will still choose to see that you are wrong and they are right. Because these people lack self-awareness. They want others to take accountability, but they can't take accountability. No matter how much you try to explain yourself, they will always believe that you're wrong and they are right. They can't apologize. They are incapable of the word sorry. And that's not your problem. That's their problem. They're gonna grow up to have so many issues with so many people because no matter how much others try to tell them that they need to change and they need to start saying sorry, they don't want to see. Like, they don't want to see it. They just want to choose to be egoistic and not say sorry, and that's not a habit that you need to worry about. Some people don't listen to understand. They listen to respond. I feel like as someone who used to make other people's problems my problems, my life became so much better when I realized that how someone reacts to my boundaries and my feelings, and how someone chooses to treat me, and how someone chooses to act towards me, it's really not my problem. Like, I cannot control how other people act, but I can control how I choose to react. You don't have to care how someone remembers you. You don't have to care if someone doesn't like you. You don't have to care how someone reacts to your boundary. It's like none of this is your problem. And the more you care about how others see you and how others remember you and how others react to your boundary, the more you give them power. The only person who decides whether you're worthy enough, whether you're a good person, whether you have grown, is you. Because you're the one who sits with yourself every single day and you know yourself best. So you're telling me if someone comes up to you and says that you're a horrible person, you're going to believe them more than you believe yourself? Like, that's crazy. Like, this person probably spent like 1 hour with you, and you're gonna, you're gonna think you're a horrible person because they believe that that's who you are. I know that if you are someone like me who gets emotionally invested into things, and you love to love and you care for people, it's like when people make you feel like a bad person, it's so normal for you to want to explain yourself to them, for you to try to convince them that you're a good person, for you to try and make up for the boundary that you set, when it's like other people's opinions about you is a projection of their own insecurities. Because I've never seen someone who is confident and secure in themselves try to make me feel bad about myself. It's like, you don't like me, I don't like you. Because you judge others and you criticize others, and that's not who I am anymore. Like, I used to be those things and I was the most miserable person out there. But now I don't focus on that. Like, I'm focused on myself. And I know that people who judge others and criticize others are insecure, because I used to be that person. And now that I'm not, anytime someone criticizes me, judges me, assume things about me, I know it's coming from a place of insecurity and jealousy, and that's your problem to fix, not mine. So I hope that after listening to this episode, you realize that these things are honestly not your problem anymore. And in your 20s, take it as your selfish era. Take it as take it as the years where you really invest in yourself. And I want you guys to know that every time I give you advice, it might seem that these things can happen overnight, but it took me 3 years to really start loving myself and to really build this mindset. Like, even today, like now, I still have things that I'm trying to work on. Like, I still have days where I care too much about other people's opinions about me, where I wish I set better boundaries, where I get too emotionally invested, where I let things affect me personally. So I feel like I'm still learning, and I don't want you to think that this whole journey of, not making these things your problem anymore is like a straight line and you can overcome this in a night. No, it takes time. But small progress is still progress. And I hope that with time, you reach a point in your life where you truly, truly stop caring about what people think about you and stop making other people's problem your problem, because you are perfect just the way you are. Like, seriously, you're perfect just the way you are. Stop trying to prove yourself to people who are not on your level. And always remember, the people who talk the most about your life and about you are the most insecure, jealous, inferior, like, I don't know, all the nasty words you can think of, like, that's them. Because I can't imagine wasting my time and energy disliking and hating other people when I need to focus on myself. Oh, before I end this episode, there's also a lot of TikToks going around of people saying, like, I love to be a hater, like, I feel like hating is something that I love to do. And it's like, all to you. Like, all to you. But I just can't relate to that. Because if you can openly admit that you love to hate, you're openly admitting how insecure and jealous you are. Like, the slightest thing someone does that doesn't align with you, you just hate on them. Like, again, to each their own. Everyone is entitled to their own opinions. Everyone is entitled to be who they are as long as it's not hurting someone. Well, actually, hating on someone does hurt them. But it's like, I stay away from haters. Like, truly, if you openly admit to me that you are a hater, I will not be around you. Because it's like, that's scary. It's scary to admit that you're a hater. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's episode. I want to say thank you so much for all your love and support. Recently, my social media has grown, and I'm so happy to have new people listening to my podcast, new people following me. There's definitely going to be a lot more content out there for you guys. New things are going to come, and I'm so excited to have you guys on this journey. Thank you for being the best supporters ever. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in my next episode. Bye, guys.